Hey everyone, it's Neon. Welcome to Impromptu English with Neon and welcome to another WWE reaction of a pay-per-view. I know it's been a long time. It's been almost a year? Not a year, but yeah, almost that. So I know that one of my most well-performing videos was the Crown Jewel review of the past year of 2021, and it was such a pay-per-view. Unfortunately, this crown jewel was actually a bit disappointing for me, as you could see from the thumbnail if you noticed. So yeah, without getting any further into the introduction, let me start with the first match. At first we have Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. What a dream match. It's technically not a dream match because it's already happened once, and they have already also featured in a fatal 4-way, but I am always excited for Bobby versus Brock, and I actually was disappointed. The match wasn't bad, it was anything but. It was actually a fine match. I would rate it like above 3 stars at least. But the way it started, the way Brock carried himself, like the narrative was that Brock was destroyed by Bobby Lashley. I think there was even a WWE YouTube video that was released which was titled Bobby Lashley destroyed Brock Lesnar. I know the storyline is like that, so Brock is supposed to get back with a revenge afterward, but I didn't like how it started. With Bobby Lashley taking a cheap shot on Brock Lesnar by just ramming him to the turnbuckle and through right onto the steel steps. Bobby shouldn't have taken that cheap maneuver. I know that Brock was more over, like he was cheered more in Saudi Arabia, but I think that Bobby Lashley is also a babyface. He should be the bigger babyface actually, but Brock is also a babyface. He's not a heel in the storyline. And also, Brock Lesnar, heel or babyface, he's still almost the same in his mindset, in his like the way he carries himself. So as I was saying, there were some good spots in the match. For example, the German suplexes, the way Brock Lesnar lifted Bobby Lashley up so effortlessly. It made it seem like he was just picking up a a sack of potatoes, and throwing it over his shoulders. So that was awesome. When he had him with the hurt lock, with the like full Nelson, and then Brock countered for the pin, that was actually a botch. And if you watched any of my WWE pay-per-view reviews, you will know that I hate botches, especially high time botches. Alright, so yes, the match was underwhelming for me because I expected a lot from them, more so than the match. Actually, I was disappointed with the way the storyline progressed. Like Brock Lesnar was being portrayed as the victim and Bobby Lashley was actually the heel in this match. I did not like that. I wanted a more one-on-one, like fair fight, like two fighters, two UFC or MMA fighters. Next we have Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre. So this was a good match. It was a better than average match. If I were to rate it, I would rate it at least 3.5 stars. However, if you compare it to last year's Crown Jewel, where Edge and Seth Rollins had their 5-star match, or at least a 4.75 star match. Granted, it was Hell in a Cell, not a steel cage match, but still, there is no comparison. And also, I read on the internet that Drew McIntyre was severely under the flu. He was very sick, but still, he was able to have such a good match. It was a classic Drew McIntyre match, and I do love Drew McIntyre and his matches. So it was fine. But there were also some lackluster moments, especially due to Scarlett. So I did not enjoy Scarlett's interference at all. It's not like I don't like interferences at all. Like, yes, would like a more fair fight between these two, especially because it's a grudge match. It's not their first match either. It's their second match. It's supposed to be decisive, or at least the next match should be the rubber match, which is the decisive fall. So the next match should have a stipulation where Scarlett is not there. But this ramification, I mean this stipulation of it being a steel cage match, time and time again, we see that in steel cage matches, people say that no, nobody will interfere. The person who is with someone who normally interferes, for example, Paul Heyman, for example, Scarlett, for example, someone else's manager like MVP, like it's in the storyline, it's said as if we the audience do not know that people cannot interfere in steel cage matches. I am so sick of it. So either you do not advertise a steel cage match as such, or you do not have interferences like this. Like, it was not just one or two times occurrences of interference. Like, it reminded me of John Cena versus Bray Wyatt in the steel cage match. John Cena had Bray Wyatt defeated almost 7 or 8 times. I counted because I am a big John Cena fan. I counted. I think it was in 2014. I don't remember exactly. So I do not like interferences like that, especially in steel cage matches where the narrative is that nobody can interfere in steel cage matches. I hate that. Next we have the OC, the original Bullet Club versus the Judgment Day. So I really loved that Michael Cole mentioned the Bullet Club in the promotion when they were making their entrances. So I really liked that. I don't know if it's intentional. I think it was intentional. And but one thing that I don't think was intentional was that he accidentally called Luke Gallows as Doc Gallows. We all know that Doc Gallows is his name in the Indies, in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and in WWE he is Luke Gallows, right? So he was Luke Gallows like 10, 12, 15 years ago also. The match itself, it was just flat out average. I liked AJ Styles's Pele kick. That is always such a treat to see. I liked when Finn Balor and AJ Styles were at it, but the ending, it felt rushed. But the main gripe, the main criticism I have of this match is again the interference. It was too damn much. Rhea Ripley was the Scarlet of this match. I know that she is doing a great job in the Judgment Day. I'm enjoying what she's doing, but no, for this match, it took the focus of the match away. It was too damn much interference. Omos versus Braun Strowman was my second match that I was the most anticipated about. As I said, the match that I was the most anticipated about was Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, but this was the second match, and it was also the first time meeting between these two individuals, these two giants, these two monsters. And what happened? The match itself was not bad at all. It had some time to breathe as well. It was not like a 5-minute match. So what went wrong in this match? It felt, even though the first match that I was disappointed about, that had an unfair start because Bobby Lashley ambushed Brock Lesnar. So in this match, this did not happen, but still, it felt like Omos, he was portrayed to be too powerful over Strowman. Because I think that, look at Strowman, look at Omos. Do you think that Omos is stronger, physically stronger than Braun Strowman? I don't think so. It may be a very similar strength, but it's not equal strength. I do not think that Omos is drastically more powerful than Braun Strowman, but it was portrayed like that. It was portrayed like Braun Strowman finally was the underdog in a match, and the way he won as well, I was not a fan, but I think that it was done to protect Omos. So I am not that much critical of this match because I want them to become a tag team and maybe decimate their opponents, maybe finally even win the tag team titles, who knows. Speaking of the Usos, they had a very good match versus the Brawling Brutes. It wasn't a masterpiece, it was not even a 4.5-star match. I suppose the highest I can give it is a 4 stars, but it's still a very good match. So it was against the Brawling Brutes. So I am really pleasantly surprised with the Brawling Brutes. Every match that they've had, I think every single match they have over delivered. I of course love Pete Dunne. His name should be reverted back to Pete Dunne. Come on, Triple H. So I love Pete Dunne, and Ridge Holland is also growing on me. I was upset that he hurt Biggie, but of course accidents happen. So this was a very good match. I really enjoyed the ending sequence. Jey Uso hit the super kick, the final 1D from the apron, from the top rope, or maybe it was the second rope. It was awesome. So yeah, my expectations were met with this match at least. Finally, Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. It was a great match. It was a very good match, especially considering who Logan Paul is. It's his third match. And Wade Barrett said that Logan Paul is the best 3-match wrestler he's ever seen, and it's not even close. So I don't know if I agree with that. I think that Pat McAfee may not be athleticism, but everything else, Pat McAfee was very good. He's also athletic, but Logan Paul, man, he's extremely athletic. Look at his frog splashes, the two frog splashes, the one to the table, and also when he just springboarded like an actual frog. He didn't even prepare for the frog splash. He just went up the top rope like the apron and then hit the frog splash. That was awesome. But actually he made a lot of errors as well, like not just storyline related errors. He was not polished, so I do not expect a three match wrestler to be polished, but still it's the main event. We have to treat it as a main event, as the main event, because it was against Roman Reigns. So especially his switch in music when he tuned up the band and went for the super kick, it was actually pathetic. It was pathetic. So what did he try to do? Did he just try to did he actually go for a switch in music, or did he just put his leg to Roman Reigns' like hand so that he could catch him? Like, it did not look good at all. And also another thing, I suppose it's a recurrent thing in this pay-per-view which I do not like at all, is the way the match was portrayed. So Logan Paul was portrayed as someone who could definitively, I should say, definitively beat Roman Reigns. Like, more than one occasion, like I think it was like 3 or 4 occasions, it felt like Roman Reigns was going to lose. But I, like, to play the devil's advocate, I would also say that I did like when he got that final one lucky shot, and then also like post final a Superman punch. It was a second Superman punch as well, so I really liked that sequence. It really did feel like Roman was going to lose. But to say it again, I did not like how it was portrayed, because Roman shouldn't be portrayed to lose, especially not that many times. One time would have been alright, because it was played up. The storyline leading up to this match was that Logan Paul could finally, like, if he could hit his one lucky shot, one lucky punch, then perhaps he could win. Actually land many lucky shots. So I thought that actually portrayed Roman Reigns to be a little bit too weak and Logan Paul to be a little bit more strong. So that was my gripe with this pay-per-view. So as I reviewed it, I realized that it wasn't actually as bad as I thought, as underwhelming as I thought. But still, it's not above an 8 out of 10. So especially when I compare it to other Crown Jewels, I actually really enjoyed Crown Jewels of the past as well, especially the last one of last year. So it is underwhelming and it was average. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you stay with me on my journey to become more fluent in English.